Coming in at number 1, the greatest villain in USC football history, Paul D. Paul D was the chairman of the NCAA Infractions Committee, the kangaroo court that destroyed USC by ignoring evidence, making up evidence, and then levying the most extreme penalties since SMU. An outrageous proceeding, which resulted, of course, in all kinds of litigation with Todd McNair, who was blamed as the person who knew about this on the coaching staff and did nothing. McNair was settled with the NCAA because the NCAA completely made up a load of nonsense. It was a horrible outcome. Here's the thing. That alone would make Paul D worthy of being a top five villain in USC football history. But that's not all. Because the thing was, Paul D was also the athletic director at Miami. And while he's sitting on a committee that's destroying USC football because they had one player get money from one idiot down in San Diego, Miami has 73 players who are getting improper benefits from a criminal who got almost $1 billion from a Ponzi scheme that he had set up. I want you to think about this, because the NCAA is a corrupt organization. It's a ridiculous organization. It's in its final throes. It's just about dead, and it couldn't happen to a better group of people. But the poster child for the corruption and arrogance and irrationality of the NCAA is Paul D. Because this is the guy who says, high-profile players demand high-profile compliance. That's what he said USC wasn't doing. Meanwhile, he has 73 players that are hanging out on yachts, getting cash, getting cocaine, getting hookers offered to them, right? It's a life of debauchery that would have made Caligula ashamed. That's what you have dozens and dozens and dozens of Miami players doing over the course of 8 years, right below Paul D's very nose. And when he's confronted with this, his response is, we didn't have any suspicion that he was doing anything like this. That's his response to this Miami booster who's loading up all of Miami's players with money and hookers and coke. An outrageous story. Paul D was a horrible, horrible villain. He deserves all the hatred that USC has poured over him for all these years. Now, I'm not saying that Paul D is Satan. I'm not. I am saying that Paul D probably got a 1099 from Satan Enterprises just about every work, because he was doing Satan's work. And when I look at the top 5 villains in USC football history, nobody deserves the number 1 spot more than Paul D.